or persons, we don't know who yet, but we are in the process of retaining a lawyer, that if the harassment continues, there will be a lawsuit. Thank you.
Okay. Moving along. Approval of minutes of March 7th, 2024.
Make a motion to approve this.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of March 7th, 2024. Any questions? All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Need a motion to go into executive session, negotiation and personnel.
Make a motion to go into executive session. Second.
Motion made and seconded to go into executive session. Any questions? All in favor? All opposed? Go ahead and call the meeting back to order. In the executive session, we have agreed to for the administrator and mayor to pursue purchasing some few lots, and we'll discuss that later on. We'll go on with the meeting now. On the old business, consider a resolution of the restructuring town agenda. Y'all have a copy of that. Jason gave us a copy of that. You'll have that?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions on that? Anybody have any questions? Want to make a motion to okay that resolution?
I'll make a motion to move forward.
Motion made and seconded to move forward on the doing the agenda. Any other questions? Any other comments? Okay, all in favor? All opposed? Okay. Consider second reading of ordinance establish construction board of appeals.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading, establish construction board.
Motion made and seconded to approve the second reading, establish the construction board of appeals. Any questions? Any comments? All in favor? All opposed? Consider second reading of the amendment to rezoning ordinance table 1, zoning provision chapter 3.
A motion to approve the second reading to amendment zoning table 1, division chapter 3.
Any second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to a second reading of amendment to zoning ordinance table 1, zoning provision chapter 3. Any questions? Any comments? All in favor? All opposed? Consider second reading of amendment to zoning ordinance table 2, zoning provision in chapter 3.
Motion we approve second reading amendment to zoning ordinance table 2, zoning provision chapter 3.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any questions? Any comments? All in favor? All opposed?
Jason?
Did you
I'm still
vote?
trying to find it.
I'm sorry.
I mean, did you?
I didn't mean to rush you there.
Did you see on there where I included what it currently is?
Okay, consider second reading, to rezone 471 Highway 150, parcel 1D 3-29-15-019.00 from neighborhood general to Neighborhood Edge.
I'll make a motion, we accept that.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any questions on that? Comments? All in favor? All opposed? All opposed? Okay, discussion, building permit and, code enforcement committee. Y'all have it, me?
We've met and discussed several things. I don't know if we came to a recommendation yet.
We met and, we started talking and, Councilmember Williams told me in a second that there was already an agreement amongst all council members that, there was a certain path. But, at the last council meeting, I was asked for a comparison and also a recommendation, so I still provided that.
What I actually said was, when
I
the,
recorded the conversation, so
Okay.
what you said was that there was an agreement amongst you and all the other council members.
what I said was, when the discussion came up with Mr. Wright's desire to fire our guy,
I didn't say that, at no point did I say that in a meeting.
You said you,
No, you said that I will fire, and I did not say that.
you don't want to fire?
I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay.
So what I said was, I said,
Y'all
we
come
were
forward,
good votes.
one at a time.
So I said,
The table that I provided you with is comparison. There's categories, of course, what Pacolet currently charges, what Spartanburg County currently charges, and then on to the right, there's a difference. The difference is between the two. If you go down the list, if you have any questions, you can ask. I'll try my best. It's pretty much answered on the second page. A lot of it is. In general, it's considerably more, if not double, on almost all things. One of the things that was offered for me to accept was taking, at the last council meeting and in our committee meeting, was the town omitting its 20% of the town was basically waiving the 20% of the fees for the permits and such. The problem I have with that is there's a lot of work that our clerks do here at Town Hall for this whole process. So omitting 20% of the town's gain from that is basically saying we're going to facilitate all the paperwork and take in all the money and distribute all the money for free. So I think that's a bad option. On here, it says that the cost for Spartanburg actually is free. So right now, the town is actually, a lot of time is spent from town clerk and assistant clerk on handling monies and filling out permits and such. Whereas if it was Spartanburg County, we would not have any of that labor burden or.
Well, let me ask you this, if y'all's committee sits down with the RTI and goes over this, we can read, these fees and all like that, we can renegotiate those. Can we not?
I don't understand what you mean by renegotiate. I think it's clear Spartanburg County has a certain fee. It's the very last page of capital fee. I don't know what you mean by renegotiate cost plan. I'm against that because negotiating with a private contractor is basically asking them to reduce their profit.
Can we set our own fees?
We absolutely can.
Okay,
We
why can't
can
we
set
do
our
that?
fees and
Why can't we do that then?
we can do anything we'd like to do.
Why can't we do that then?
I didn't say anything.
Okay.
So if we do that, Jason, then does that mean RCI can choose to go by what we decide or choose to not work with us?
They can choose either path.
Okay.
Yes, if we decide to use Spartanburg County's fee schedule, and one of the biggest things in here is using the IBB detail, I might have said those letters wrong, but there's a certain table that is a requirement. And I've noticed on some of the permits applications that number changes, but it's always been 165.67 for a heated square foot. So one of the things is the average sale price for houses, which means the average sale price per square foot is about $155 in Pacolet area. So that's the sale price. That includes the land, that includes, all the property, that includes the house, that's a finished property and everything. This permit is supposed to be based on just the build of the house, the footprint of the house, not the property. If it's 1 acre, half acre, 12 acres, none of that. It should be based on that. So even just by the average cost, sale price of a house, it's still higher than that. And this table that's being used, it's not a definite. It's actually it's a recommendation. It's basically just to give you something, give the town something to go by. It says in there, this data is only intended to assist jurisdictions in determining their permit fees. This data table is not intended to be used as estimating guide because the data only reflects average costs and is not representative of specific construction. The data is a national average and does not take into account any regional cost differences as such, and the use of regional cost modifiers is subject to authority having jurisdiction. So in other words, this is a nationally average thing. The entire United States uses this table. It's an average from the highest and the lowest, and where we fit in that average, I don't really know. However, the average, looking through many Spartanburg County, just through Spartanburg County, their permits, the average was between, I have it on here, somewhere, $70. The average is $70. That's the cost of construction per square foot. That does not, that in no way is this supposed to include property. It's not supposed to be a reflection of the end result, the sale price of the house, in no way. This permit is supposed to be for the building of the house, of the structure, and that's it. So, with that being said, that's why I feel like, if we looked at many of the different costs, I feel like no matter what, this is, we've essentially doubled our permit fees. For all the potential builders, and I think this is a hindrance, and this would slow growth, because it would cause contractors to look at it and say, this is the most expensive place to build, to get a permit to build in Spartanburg County. In Spartanburg County, this is the most expensive place for permits, and I think my recommendation is to go back to the Spartanburg County, what Spartanburg County uses, that most municipalities use the same exact fee schedule. I think we should let the contractors determine faithfully what their construction costs are. Smaller contractors don't buy bulk packages. They don't buy bulk lumber, they buy a house at a time, and of course the cost of construction might be more. So with that, that's my recommendation. This section agreed with me that I recommend we use Spartanburg County's fee schedule that allows the contractor to indicate their construction costs.
All right, so as of this time, we have comparisons with Pacolet and Spartanburg County.
That's right.
Okay, we don't,
I wouldn't trust any of these numbers to begin with. These are Jason's numbers, and he has an agenda.
You need to stop that.
okay.
So,
That's not appropriate.
are these not your numbers? Is that not what you're
That's-
saying?
that's-
Hang on,
Hold on,
hang
he's
on.
not. You've had your time to speak. Is that
Because
what you're saying?
you don't attack him.
I'm not, I'm just saying these are his numbers. He just handed us a chart. Him saying 70 dollars a square foot is national average. It's the silliest thing I've heard. 100, I mean, a simple Google search of the state of South Carolina starts at 100 and goes to 300, 400, depending on who you check. But now, our current contractors already voluntarily reduced their fees by hundreds of dollars. Just out of good faith, we haven't even voted on that at the beginning of the year. They've reduced these permits. Your numbers don't add up. And if we sit down and go through what RCI, the expert on this, knows, he knows how other private contractors operate because he's worked with them. The idea that everyone uses Spartanburg's number is silly. They don't. And we're never going to get the quality of RCI paying those numbers. We hired them for a reason. The idea that you're putting words in my mouth saying that I had some
Listen,
private
man,
meeting.
I'd ask you again to just.
Are you
stop.
afraid? Are you afraid?
You're
What I'm
allowed,
saying is-
you're allowed.
Are you afraid to hear what I'm saying?
Wait, hang on. You attacked him.
I did not, at no point.
You did.
You said
I simply stated
you
I simply stated what was told to me. at our
I'm
meeting.
correcting that, because I never said I had some private meeting and we had votes. I
No.
said, you don't,
I was there as well.
Yes.
I asked you. so-
Hang on, one at a time. I'm gonna do it one at a time.
Very good.
when Ms. Sexton and Mr. Wright indicated they did not want RCI here anymore, I said, you guys don't have the votes. How do you know that? I just know based on what I've talking with people. There's no secret votes taken.
Well, look, hang on a minute. Y'all met at the committee, y'all gonna have to come out with a consensus. If y'all gonna bring this stuff to us, you're gonna have to come out with a consensus to us. And that's all they are to it. I mean, you know, we can argue this thing out all night long. You're gonna have to come to me and come to us with something, you know, other than just, you know, these figures, you know, we're gonna have to have, you know,
Let's have a work session with them.
that's fine.
So we can do the math and we can all the numbers ourselves.
And-
That's the whole point of the committee.
I requested when we formed the committee that we compare with Spartanburg County, Calpins and Union, possibly the three, since those are the closest to us. And I appreciate the work and effort put into comparing to Spartanburg County. But it don't tell me everything I wanted to know. As a committee, we need to have everybody have a work session, get together and find out what we can as far as what Calpins does versus what Union County does, and compare it to what we're doing, then so be it. I don't want to just compare what we do in Spartanburg County. That was sufficient with enough Spartanburg County to start with, in my opinion.
Okay, you wanna have a work session, when do you have to have it?
I'd like to speak a minute to what he said in comparison. It only took me probably 10 minutes to do the same thing. I pulled Union County's building code fees, I pulled Cherokee County, I pulled Spartanburg counties, I pulled Inman's, I pulled,
Okay, we don't have those figures though, we don't have those figures.
I brought them last time and passed them out. April has a copy of them. We had a copy of those at our meeting.
Okay,
You just have to go online and look for yourself, educate yourself. We can do that as a committee, but if you
Okay.
just take a few minutes to go online and look at it yourself, we are doubled what RCI wants to charge, and there's no reason for us to do that. We need to be in comparison with the counties and towns around us.
We're never gonna be what Spartanburg County is, because we want a better level of service. If you want to compare to other private contractors, that's apples for apples, but to the county, that's apples to oranges. We want a higher level of service, that's why we hire them.
No, it's not why we hire him, so he can charge us double, charging him out.
okay. And we wanna have a work session or not, we can argue this all night long.
I would recommend that RCI be there to kind of explain some of the fees that.
Well, then I think we need to have another objective and not just RCI, because that's one side.
I think bring in whoever you'd like.
Okay, when you wanna have a work session? If that's what y'all want? Hello?
That's what we need, sound like.
Do you recommend Resolution's empty.
When do you wanna have it? Come up, y'all, give me a date.
Any Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday is good for me. Wednesday, I'm tied up. Anything after 6 p.m.
Anybody else?
April 8th, 6,
What?
April 8th, Monday. I'll do that soon.
I'm sorry, I will not be available this coming Monday.
Okay.
Well, I think we need to see, at least, I want to get someone else besides just RCI, because that's one-sided.
Like, maybe we should,
Get somebody.
maybe we should have our administrator hold the numbers for us. I mean, that's why he works for the council. We should have our administrator hold the numbers, verify numbers from the county, have those county offices email them, he can compile them, and then send us the information that they send him. He can collect it all for us, and then we can review it, and if we need to have a work session after that, reviewing the numbers, then we can. I think it's okay instead of, I've done a lot of research, and I am not willing to do more of it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. The problem
I
is,
think we should allow somebody else to do this.
Okay.
Doesn't
gonna
matter
come
to me
down
who,
to-
you find somebody in another county, somebody that's not,
I think we need
connected to
somebody
this.
very much objective, because this is just, it's too much of an issue on one side to the other. And because supposedly everybody else was in on the decision except for me and Jason.
I didn't ask for a job, somebody's
Well,
opinion, I
That's
asked for
what
facts.
it was told to us that the council pretty much had already made a decision and it was a done deal and RCI was going nowhere.
no, I just said I didn't think you had the votes.
Y'all quit arguing back and forth, okay? That's it. I'm not gonna stand for you more, we remove somebody. We're not arguing back and forth. No, we're not gonna argue back and forth. Okay? Patrick, can you do that for us?
Yep, I'll set it up. You all want RCI there as well?
No, we want you to gather information. I'll make a motion that our town administrator will gather facts as far as charges compared to our charges.
We don't need a motion, but that's the job.
Excuse me.
We don't need a motion, but we can just go ahead. Is that okay with everybody? Get Patrick to do this?
Well,
Compared
Jason
to-
just said that.
Okay? When do you think you can get it? A week or so?
that's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Take that
Yeah,
long.
it's gonna take longer than that.
He was very busy, but
Well, he did. He got everything to do. I hope.
The 18th, 2 weeks from now.
You think you have all that done in 2 weeks?
I hope so.
Well,
mean, the next-
when you have it, you can send it to us.
Yeah, if you don't mind, please send it to us so we can review it before we sit back down.
You can have it before then, or if it takes you longer, you just tell us if it takes you
If
longer.
I feel like it's gonna be taking longer, I'll let you know in advance.
Okay. Okay, let's move on then. New business. Initial budget discussion, and budget approval schedule.
So I've got a draft budget ready for y'all to review, and just wanted to know, I want to try to get on this sooner than later, and not be in a situation where we're doing a second reading the last weekend in June. So just wanted to kind of see if y'all needed to do, we did a work session, I think we did 1 or 2 work sessions last year. I can I didn't know if y'all wanted to try to just include this in a regular meeting, or if you wanted to do a work session prior, or if you wanted to have a separate meeting and go through what we've got. What I'm gonna end up doing is propose something. I can send something out and send you as much detail as possible with the incomes and the revenues and the expenses on there. And then on top of that, based on discussions that we had at the retreat, one other thing I want to do is try to put together a capital plan as well. As y'all know, the town of Pacolet has a lot of money, or a pretty decent amount, in the general fund. And I want to make sure that we're allocating those in the right directions. There are some grants that are outstanding, the Department on Aging grant, as well as the Community Development Block grants for projects that were supposed to be done in the golf room. And want to make sure the town has that money if we have to pay those things back. But I want to put all that together so y'all are very much aware of what the town has and then what liabilities the town has as well.
I'd like to have, when you need 1 or 2 work sessions set up. Anybody object to that?
I'm fine with it.
Y'all good?
I'm ready for that a lot quicker than I am ready for the other stuff. I can definitely have that thing ready next week or the following week if y'all wanted to go ahead and jump into that.
You're talking about the budget?
The budget.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have that ready by the 18th.
Okay.
If y'all wanted to do that and just have one long budget slash code enforcement and building inspection kind of meeting, that's entirely up to y'all.
You forward those to us as soon as you can, so we can review them before we sit down.
I'll go ahead and get you the budget stuff out now, with all of my notes on there. And then as soon as I get you the rest of the stuff, I'll put that also in there.
To the best of my knowledge, the 18th would be good for me. That's 2 weeks from today.
What I'm asking for is either way, even if I'm not able to get the information from building and inspections, can we go ahead and plan for the 18th?
Yes.
To do a budget?
Anybody have a conflict? Okay. You guys, what time? 6?
6 o'clock would be great. That's okay with everybody here.
Good.
A little bit after.
Is it possible to get, I haven't seen budget numbers, running current budget numbers for several months now. I'd like at least a quarterly financial analysis.
We can have something next week, or this week, next week.
I heard that quite often.
No, really.
I can't give you what I don't have. And
I mean, just an analysis. I don't need actual numbers of everything. I just want to know where we stand, like financial analysis. Are we hurting, or are we fine, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many months was that show?
Up through March.
When was the last one we got a July?
July.
Yeah.
And it may be worthwhile to bring Steve back in and have to talk to y'all, but I mean, he's making some excellent progress on all those accounts.
I just wanted to see some current numbers before we talk about next year's budget. Where they stand now, I think that's important that we see those numbers before we start talking about new ones. Thank you.
In addition to that, I'll be going ahead and moving forward with recommendations on audits based on Mr. Blake's recommendations on there, to go ahead and get that done, because that's past due as well. So what we are overdue on having an audit for the FY23 budget. The reason that we have waited until now to do it is Mr. Blake was hired to do a forensic audit of our current system to evaluate everything and get it in line so that it's ready for an auditor to come in and evaluate everything we've got.
Okay. Okay, we good with 18th, 6 o'clock.
18, 6 o'clock.
Okay. And moving on, consider a resolution declaring Fair Housing Month.
This was requested from ACOG based on our CDBG application. This was, they actually submitted this, it's all, and so it's just,
I make a motion to approve
Second.
resolution.
Motion made and second. Any questions? Any comments? All in favor? All approved. Okay. Consider awarding town hall renovation the lowest possible bidder.
this was sent out on the 7th for an RFP. We had an on-site meeting on the 14th. Several came in attendance. We received 4 bids. I've included in your packet the bid sheet that's on there and all the information. I wanted to have some other people looking at it. I looked through the ordinance, our purchasing ordinance, and I put together a selection committee. We reviewed everything that's in there and have a suggestion or a recommendation to council that we move forward with Lyles Construction as the lowest bidder for construction side of things, and for Haynes Pro for the AV. We wanted Haynes to do some additional stuff based on some of the numbers they gave us, and have since then had some additional conversations. Haynes was unable to give me a final updated price. The president of the company was on vacation this week, and as soon as he gets back, he's going to send me this updated numbers.
I make a motion to approve Lyles Construction and Haynes Pro.
Second.
As soon as I have that final numbers on there, I'll send that out to you, and we'll have a contract for y'all to review to move forward. The number came in less than I thought they were going to end up coming in. So I'll be looking at some additional projects for town hall for us to do on top of what we currently have scheduled.
Okay. Comments?
All right, we're looking right now, when you start the renovations, we're looking at 3-4 months.
When I talked to, so Lyles initially had put in the bid sheet that they would be done by August on there, but I reached out to their general contractor, their project manager on there, and I said, realistically, how quickly can we get this thing done? And he said 60 days. The only thing that would take longer is if there are certain items that we need that just took longer to get in, but the actual construction shouldn't take more than 60 days.
All right, so we're looking at 2 to 3 months. What is our plan as far as the council meetings during the construction time?
We're going to try to set it up in such a way that it's going to have very little impact and no impact on y'all altogether. The biggest thing that may end up is making sure that we get that bathroom done as quickly as possible. It will probably inconvenience us, and we may end up having to use porta potties for a week or so. I didn't tell Tony that until just now. But what I'm trying to set up is that once they start building this, that we can actually tarp this in such a way that we can continue to have meetings out here.
All right.
Haynes Pro was actually the original contract, the ones who I think Ms. Gant had hired to do the initial sound system.
Okay. Okay,
Any other questions on that? And this will be a big deal for the town once it's installed. And just so the public understands, once this is done, there'll be a microphone for every single council member here. We'll know who says what specifically. We'll be able to adjust volumes on individual microphones here. On top of that, the way we're setting it up is so that each council member will have their own monitor. And so you'll actually see everything that I'm looking at. We'll all be on the same sheet. On top of that, we're looking to have they're either 65 or 75 inch screen TVs. So everybody in the public can see exactly what's going on. There'll be video cameras both on me and on y'all as well. And it'll pick up all sound, all audio. And if anybody chooses to, they don't actually have to come to the meetings. It'll be live streamed on our YouTube, Facebook, website, recorded, and all that information will all be out there available for anybody to view at any point. They won't have any issues with understanding what certain people said during meetings. We'll know that very well, very clearly. But I think the biggest thing is everything will be digital. So I'll end up having a monitor And wherever I'm talking about, if there's a video, if there's a map or a GIS thing we want to look at, everybody here can see it, I can see it, and everybody back here can see it as well.
Did we vote?
We got a motion and a second, and then I asked a question, and they got delayed.
Okay. All in favor? All opposed?
So, one of the things that I talked to you all about a while back is 111 Cameron Street has been seeing some flooding issues, and reached out to Summit Engineering, and they gave me a price of $405,000 to fix, repair the stormwater issues. I'd like to send y'all the breakdown of what that is and the proposed layout of what they're looking at doing. But this will probably be a project at some point that we don't do it now, that we need to do it down the road at some point. But there is a big cost in there. $400,000 is not going to be cheap. It's not a lot of money the town of Pacolet has. We can apply for a RIA grant, a Rural Infrastructure Authority grant. However, the way it works is the town of Pacolet can only get 75% of construction costs. That's the only thing they've covered. I want to try to find some additional revenues or additional grants that are out there to help us cover the rest. Because still $132,000 is still a lot of money for the town to pay for. One thing to consider, and you'll see on the second item on there, is that Spartanburg Water, for any type of expansions to water and sewer, has to be done by them. They have to submit the application to upgrade their system. And there are lots of projects that they want to do with their system throughout the entire county, and they cannot guarantee that they will have an open spot in the next round, which is going to be in the fall. So if they decide to apply for a grant for some other section of their system, there may be a possibility the town could use the money that we're going to use for that and additional money and try to do some of the projects on Cameron Street. That's a lot to take in, and I give you a lot of information. This may be something that we talk about more in the work session, and we'd like to bring in our civil engineer to give some evaluation of what his comments are on there. Part of this, and you'll kind of wonder why are we in this situation right now? If you're familiar with Cameron Street, the way it was originally built is you had a street and a curb, and over time, actually the mayor grew up there, they would mill and pave and replace the asphalt. It's gotten to the point now where the asphalt is now above the sidewalk. It's my understanding, and based on my experience, Mr. Wright may know otherwise, because I think he lives in the area and he knows this. All of the sidewalks in the mill area were originally built as stormwater culverts. So underneath the sidewalk itself is a open channel, and water will flow back and forth through there. The curbing on the front where the asphalt comes in, there will be grates in there to divert water into that culvert. It is all covered up. The grates are now covered up as well. Any water that falls on Cameron Street goes directly into these homes, because that is the way that the road is set up, as it flows that way. You would say, why don't we just have it set up where the road flows the other direction? And stormwater people prefer that water not drain off the other direction, as it will start to erode the bank on the other side, and eventually the Cameron Street will start collapsing. So they prefer it to go back into the sidewalk and try to put together some type of stormwater catch basin at various intervals along the way, and then have water go underneath into the Pacolet property that's in there. So a lot to unpack. I wanted to give you some information on this, but also send you information that I've been sent from the engineer. And this is the town engineer, and the one thing that's happening for some of y'all that are new is the town agreed to a 3-year contract with Summit Engineering back in September of '22, I believe, for any type of work the town ends up using. It's not that it's discounted or anything else, it's that the town sent out proposals for work to be done, and if the town ever needs it. And so the town has already selected the lowest responsible bidder, so that if any projects do come up, we go right and move forward with them. Unless the grant that we're applying for money requires it to be bid out to multiple bidders. But that is something that we need to address at some point, because it is having some flooding issues out on Cameron Street. If any of y'all would like to talk more about this, I'd love to show you some of the properties out there and kind of what's happening. But I'll send you the proposal that I got from Summit Engineering. Any questions on that? Regarding the sign, 176 West Main Street, I've received several quotes. A lot of them were extremely high. I reached out to some of my cohorts and other communities and was looking for somebody that could do a design site plan for the sign, the new sign for Welcome to Pacolet at the intersection of West Main Street and 176. And I got a recommendation got a suggestion of somebody from Lee Bailey out in Woodruff. And this person gave me a proposal to do the project for about $5,000. And so we're going to go ahead and move forward with this. And why are we doing this? Is the property, where the sign's going to be located is on SCDOT right of way, and they require what's called an encroachment permit. And to do that encroachment permit, we got to show exactly where that sign's going to be located. And to do that, we have to create a survey and site plans. And so we're going through that right now. Once that's done, I'll send that to SCDOT, get their approval for the encroachment permit, and then send this out to bid so that we can move forward with this project. We received the occasional phone call, email, or visitor about code enforcement. However, once we talk to them, they understand, they fix the problem, or we work out a plan to fix the problem. One particular property, I won't give the exact address, I'll just say it happened on Cleveland Street in Harveytown. We had someone who had gotten a letter. They came up to town hall, asked some questions about why they were getting this, what this was all about. I told them I'd go out and look at the property and verify what was happening. I went out there, looked at it, explained to them what was happening. He said, I just got the letter, so it was a 15-day start. When does it start? And I said, listen, the biggest thing we're trying to do is just clean up properties. How long do you think it'll take to fix this? It'll probably take me about a week and a half. I said, I'll give you 2 weeks. 2 weeks, go out there and check it out. If there's not a problem, then you're off the list. So just letting y'all know how code enforcement has been working in the town. Next section there is going to apply for a grant from Norfolk Southern in the amount of $50,000. That would be to install a new sign on 176 West Main Street, clear the lot across from the railroad tracks. This is the properties behind IGA. And then also apply for try to seek someone to do a design of the lot out there as well. The grant is up to about $50,000. The grant opening is from April 1st through October. As soon as they receive it, they can go ahead and approve it and send their notice back out to us, and we can go ahead and begin. But if y'all are okay, I'd like to go after those projects.
Anybody? I think we should go after it.
The music selection for Riverfest has been set. The Beatnight Boys, and that's Backline, and Split Rail Bluegrass Band will be at Riverfest. I believe that's going to be October 19th. The landscape crew is currently working they're in the middle of an add-on project that I have them look at. It's on the upper part of the amphitheater behind the concessions area and the opera house, that they're clear cutting all the underbrush that's up there. But I just want to let y'all be aware of this. The town is aware that the Nature Trail Bridge is out, and we're currently working on solutions of either repair or replacement of that bridge. I had a chance to go,
And
is there a question?
he was gonna know if we could add this on to the.
It's added to the meeting minutes, so we don't have to read through the entire thing.
Just go ahead and read it now, then, go ahead and let us know what's going on here.
I'll skip some sections here. The history committee will be honoring Gerald. We'd like to honor Gerald Teaster, so the next council meeting we'll have a resolution proclamation for that. We're making some updates to. We had an annual inspection by the fire department, and they had some concerns that they wanted us to fix. So we're taking care of those. The last council meeting, council members asked about signage for the new truck route. Chief and I are working on new signage. Welford has some excellent signs, and I believe we'll be ordering those pretty shortly to go out on the streets. I'm also working on that 85 sign with DOT. Haven't gotten a response back, but I'll follow back up with them and see if I can get that 85 sign up there. Sponsorship packet, you all have a copy of that in front of you. It has been an excellent tool for us to get sponsorships for our new events. If you have anybody who may be interested, please pass it along to them. Jennifer Gilbert, our assistant town clerk, is the one who designed all of that. Founders Day's coming up May 4th, 4 to 9. There'll be several local bands. Farmers Market has changed a little bit since the last time we met. Initially, it was going to be every Saturday. It's now changed to the second Saturday of the month. This was changed to create a sense of urgency and reduce slow market days with little attendance and low vendor turnout. The afternoon time is to allow vendors from other markets to attend Pacolet after they've attended a much larger market area. And the location will be down at the flats. The movies by the river will take place the second Saturdays of every month, May through August. The movies right now are scheduled is the Lorax, Luca, Moana, and the Wizard of Oz. I don't know one of them. And Spartanburg County Foundation has agreed to be the presenting sponsor. Battle Pacolet is coming along very well. We're partnering with Vintage View Adventures, Spartanburg County Parks and Recreation, and they're going to handle all the stuff for kayaking for the event. The community cleanup is Saturday, April 13th, 12 to 2. We will start at the fire department. Partnership sponsorships include IGA, Pacolet Fire District, and Keep One Spartanburg Beautiful. And then we are moving forward with the April 20th bulk waste drop-off at the fishing piers. This will be an all-day event for Pacolet residents only. Make sure that you understand that, just for Pacolet residents only. We will be checking IDs and verifying that only residents of Pacolet will be coming out for this. We'll have a flyer that will be posted later on about this.
Ahead of time, just so they know, so they don't, I just saw that, yeah. Will they be placed ahead of time so they'll know not to bring that? Because if they bring it and it's mixed up with all the other stuff?
Yes, the last thing we want to end up doing is having people bring out stuff that we're not going to take. We're going to let them know as much as possible. If you get a chance, there's a blue flyer that's right out here of locations that you can take certain things. We've got that from the landfill. And we're going to be giving those to people as they come out and saying, this can't be taken. However, these are locations that are probably open on Saturday that you can go ahead and take them to, but we're not taking them here. But we will put something out both on a flyer as well as Facebook and our website to let people know what we're not taking.
Well, what about like the library and the dollar store and places like that?
Yes.
There's a lot of people that don't go on Facebook.
Well, that's what I'm saying is we're not just going to put out there and we'll also do flyers that we'll put out at that location. We'll put them at the library and the post office. RCI no longer charges for a residential plan review. That's as of January 1st. And then, based on cost and comments from the town public, the code enforcement time has been reduced, so they're not going to be driving around and looking for stuff out there. It's based on, it's primarily going to be complaint driven, and we're reducing their hours down to no more than 40 hours a month. I don't have any other comments. RCI is not here tonight to give a report. I have the report in front of me. I think y'all have it in front of me as well. Y'all have any questions about that? I can relay back to RCI.
What is the fine if someone begins working without a building permit?
Sir?
What is the fine if someone begins working without a building permit?
I believe the fine for working without a building permit is double the fine.
Is there a specific town ordinance that establishes a building permit fine?
I believe that's set up with, that's an RCI thing, it's not our stuff.
So if there's no ordinance, where does that direction come from?
I'll have to look back, but I think it was part of our fee schedule that we ended up reading.
Can you get back to me on that?
I would love to.
At the next meeting?
Yep.
Anybody else?
I just want the farmer's market, so they will be supplied, or, I think, last year.
We
there was
will.
a little bit of time before we got
We
some in.
will have porta potties, and with the fact that it's only 4 days as opposed to every Saturday, it will not. That was, the biggest concern that I had last year was, we had a porta potty that sat out there for approximately 4 or 5 months. It was extremely expensive. They were located right below here, which is where the porta potty was. And now it's going to be out in the flats area, basically where the food vendor strictly set up for the river fence. And just behind that, there's a little grassy area that's up beside the river that has a chain link fence down the side. That's where the movies by the river will be located. And I forgot to mention that we have a great partnership with Benjamin E. Mays Family Resource Center, and they're going to be providing popcorn for the event. Free of charge.
Good evening to everybody. Well, 192 calls for service, 1,032 officer-initiated events. The Explore Post has been established through Boy Scouts of America. I would like to request an initial budget from council to fund the startup costs and basic expenditures of the cadets who are chosen to participate. This will not be an annual budget request, which will come later, but a one-time request for initial expenditures of registration fees. There's an insurance fee and equipment. For example, Boy Scouts of America require that we provide a uniform, and we have to go ahead and decide now what that uniform is, so that it's uniform across. And I would hate to have children that are interested in participating that just the family doesn't have the budget for that. So that's primarily the cost. The registration cost could be under $500 total. That includes the insurance. But we have to get a quote in regards to the uniform that we determine we would like to use. So I'm requesting $2,000 from council as an initial setup fee for expenditures.
I don't have a problem with that. I'll make a motion to allow you 2,000.
I'll see.
If it's feasible.
Do we need to amend the agenda?
What?
Do we need to amend the agenda or no?
It's in his report.
Oh, okay, yep, a second.
Anybody else? You have any questions? All in favor? All opposed?
This is guidelines with that, these are established by the Boy Scouts of America. We have no control over. The people eligible to participate have to be 14 years to 21 years, and they must have graduated from the 8th grade. So essentially, high schoolers up through 21 years old. So we're pretty excited about this. All of the officers are dual trained through the Boy Scouts of America, which is their requirement to have a charter. So we're really excited about this. We're going to reach out to Redone High School and the Dayton Morgan Tech Center. We feel like we can probably handle about 15 kids. But Boy Scouts will mandate exactly how many we can have according to the number of staff members we have available. So there's a supervisor to cadet ratio that you have to follow. So I'm afraid we're going to probably have to turn kids away because they do have a law enforcement program at the Naval Boarding School. But we're going to give priority to the residents first. If we still have slots left over after that, then those will go to pretty high school students. I am interested in putting out an RFP for bars or barriers in the front glass walls of the police department for safety concerns. When we have court now, or if we have meetings there, we have several people involved with parking a police car in front of the glass walls now. The floor inside the PD and the parking lot are the same height, so if someone decided they wanted to crash into the building from like a terrorist standpoint, they could very easily do that. I know it's a lot cheaper to park a car in front of it, but I would kind of like to get some bids to see what it would cost to put bollards and fencing or more like a barricade like you see on the highway. So if you see that on the website soon, you'll understand what it's about. And I do have one point that is not on the agenda. We are fully staffed again. We have hired Officer Justin Gray. Justin is from North Carolina and has recently moved to the Union area. He's a previously certified North Carolina officer and a United States Marine. So we are very happy to have him. He and I will be heading out to the range on Monday and full speed from there. Any questions I can answer for you?
Anybody?
Thank you.
Comment?
Oh, no,
I have some positive to add. The Lions Club recently received, with the help of Senator Martin, a grant from the state for several $1,000s to upgrade and improve our Veterans Park. So we're in the design phase of that right now. Along with this announcement, just to kind of get the public interested, at some point I may bring something to council. There is a Duke power pole right in the middle of the park that will inhibit the design that may be costly to move. Our club is a small club, so that would be a burden. So I may ask council to consider the town investing a little in Veterans Park. I think it's a great asset that the town has not had any cost associated with. The club handles maintenance and the current design and build of it. And obviously it's for a great cost. So that's all I have.
Okay. All right. Thanks for everything. We'll be meeting again on the 18th, 6 o'clock here. Anybody else? Okay. Motion made and seconded 3 times. So adjourned. All in favor?